This video is brought to us by the Indiana Arts Commission. They were wonderful enough to give me a grant to continue with my art and also to continue to help teach you guys a little bit more about jewelry smithing. Because of them, I'm going to be able to teach you guys some more techniques and tell you about more different kinds of tools for jewelry smithing, not just wire weaving. So do look forward to those videos coming up, and thanks Indiana Art Commission. Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Art Classes My Way. I'm going to be showing you how to add a little pop of color to this ribbon. If you want more details on how to do a weave like this, I do have it as Just Weaves video, so you can go and check that out. But this is to help beginners figure out how to add just a pop of color to a weave like this or wherever they'd like to add it. So I've already pretty much gotten this guy started, and for a weave like this I find it easier to have two weaving wires for one side of this diamond shape, and then I have another wire for the other side. And I thought it would be fun to add a smaller diamond pattern and putting just a little pop of color inside of this diamond pattern. But zebra wire has been pretty good to me. So, alright, so getting started with this, where you want to go is you're only going to want to open your wire up. Hello, mister. This is Mike. He's the new boy. Art Cat Shoo. This is going to be very entertaining considering he doesn't know what wire is and that I'm working. New. So I have taken this guy. This wire is responsible for just this half of the weave. This guy's responsible for the other half. And to pretty much kind of a recap here, since we're on a large part of this wire, I'm going to go around twice. And of course you can always go around as many times as you want to make the diamond bigger or smaller as you wish. But once you go around the 2 times, I'm going to come up through the middle of the 2 wires as soon as I find out how to divide them. There we go. Of course the kittens all decide that now is the time to be full of shenanigans. They've been quiet all day. Alright, and then I'm going to go around the next 2 wires twice. 1 and 2. Now I'm going to go up in between them just like before to go on as if I would move up to the next step and wrap 2 more wires, but we've ended, so I'm just going to go around this wire 2 times like so. And that's the pattern that I've been pretty much following the whole time. It's been through sets of 2s, and now these are my tails. I haven't cut them off yet, and you'll see why in a second. It's been sets of 2s the entire time. Now when you come back together, again, this is mostly a recap of what you'll find in the other video. If you want details, you can go there. But once I start coming back this way, you'll notice it'll just feel like you're one off. Like one side is just one wrap higher than the other. That's normal. So in order to go back, I've gone around twice. Now I'm just going to go down, wrap around these 2 outermost wires again. And we'll do that 2 times to continue our pattern. And then I'm going to come up through the middle of those 2 wires that I just wrapped, and then I'm going to move over 1 wire so that way this guy is excluded now, and then I'm wrapping around just these 2 wires, which are the next ones. Now I've gotten to the middle of my weave. I brought this guy up and I put him off to the side, and now I'm going to work on this wire and build this side up to where it needs to be. And just kind of give it a little switch. So now I've made it to the middle, and what I typically do for the middle is I'll get my 2 middle wires out. I choose one side, and whichever side I choose to do this with, I will continue to do it throughout the entire weave itself. So just keep that in mind. You can go back and forth, and you could take this wire and continue to weave all the way over and zigzag back and forth, so that way they're zigzagging across each other more or less. You will still have to go underneath where they would intersect with a wire. There's a lot of ways to do this weave. This is just the way I do it. But I will choose one side, and in this case, it's this side that I always choose to do this part. And I will basically act like nothing has happened. I'll go ahead and go across these two, the 2 middlemost wires. Like so, and that marries the 2 halves. And then I will come up on the middle. Up the middle. And then I will continue to take this back this direction. So bump, bump. This guy, on the other hand, I put him in the middle just so that way he wouldn't unravel and get lost. It kind of was a placeholder, more or less. I'll take him out of the middle. And then along the back here, like so, he's going to end up crossing over the back. And you can hopefully you can kind of see where he's done that just about every single time. He's the side that always does that part. And then I will start taking him back on his half that he's responsible for. All right. Now, in order to make these smaller diamond patterns, pretty much it's exactly like doing this guy, except I just don't go the other 2 wires. This is where I'm going to stop. I will put 2 around the top, or in this case would be the wire I stopped on. So that way it looks just like the bigger wire in the end. 1, 2, and now it's ready to come back this direction. So let's get the other side ready, because that's all the further we need to go with that for now if we're going to add a pop of color. All right, now we're ready to add that pop of color. I've got these 2 out of my way because I have enough wires to worry about at the moment. And I typically don't cut this off the spool itself to try to save on wire as much as possible, and that includes little tails and things. So I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to put him in the middle, the absolute middle of everything. I'm going to bend his little bottom down. I'm going to put my thumb on top of it. That's my tail. And you can see the tails throughout everything. If I keep fiddling with those, eventually they'll snap off, but I can also clip them. But I'm going to put my thumb there, and what I'm going to do is basically like what I've been doing. I'm going to come up, and I'm going to fill in that gap by going around the 2 middle ones first. And this wire is a couple sizes smaller. This is a 30 gauge, and the rest, 30 gauge. And the rest of the weaving wire, like this guy, this guy is a 26, I do believe. So there's a couple gauges difference here between the weaving wire and this pop of color. I would not do this with a wire that is the same size as the weaving wire. You're going to have a couple of issues there. So since this wire is just a tiny bit smaller, I'm going to go around 3 times in this gap, or the gap that I'm filling anyway. All right, So that's 3. Now I'm going to go all the way around down here. And now I'm going to wrap a total of 4 wires. So I'm going to get these middle 2. I'm going to bend these guys out of the way. Hopefully you guys can see a little bit better. Get these edges out of the way. The color isn't going to go all the way to the edge of this diamond pattern that we're doing. All right. But we are going to encompass all 4 of the middle wires now. So it's just going to be 3 wraps around that way. And there you have that part. That's pretty much full. Now what you're going to do is you're going to come back. I'm going to take out these side pieces and we're just going to go around these middle 2 by themselves again. Same number of times. Now I'm going to hold off cutting the color part. I'm just going to go ahead and fold him down here out of my way, and I'm going to bring up the other wires back into their position and hold the color back. This way, by holding the color back instead of cutting it, because this is just a teeny tiny little bit of color here, I'm basically keeping it from unraveling while I go ahead and close this diamond pattern. You do not want to close your pattern before you've put your color in. You can't just like get it all the way to where, okay, before completely closing it, I'm going to fill it in, unless you just want to go by hand up and down. That's a big pain in the butt. Don't do it that way. You'll waste a lot of time. And then I'm going to go and continue my pattern as if nothing ever happened. And now that we're at this part, we're just going to close it like before. Going to go around the middle 2 most wires 2 times with my right hand most wire to me, with the wire that's closest to me. And then come up through the middle. And then I'm going to take this guy and go back through the middle. And what I like to do, I'm going to flip this over. Now this wire that we have not cut, just kind of like an added security, I'm going to take it, I'm going to put it to where the wire that goes across the back by himself is going to overlap over the top of him. So come up through the middle, and that guy is going to go back the direction that he comes, which is around you. 1, 2, up through the middle. And there's that. This guy doesn't factor into the color piece at all, so I'm gonna just kind of pull that a little bit. And snip, nice and close. And there you have it. And then you just continue on your pattern as if you'd always been doing it. And there we go. Nice little pops of color, and once you're ready to get rid of your little tails, it's a lot like before. You just come in and give them a little snip, nice and close. And there you have it. Now, for all of you who don't know how to do this weave, again, there is a video in my Just Weaves that'll show you how to do this stuff and how to start. There's an example right there. It's pretty easy to put together, but if you need a step-by-step, I'd suggest going over to those videos. This is just about adding the little bits of color to this. So, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and please like, subscribe, favorite, comment, do all those wonderful things that you guys do, and I'll see you later. Bye!